Well, how many of you saw that result coming? It's a happy return to Hyderabad for David Warner, as Delhi Capitals, in spite of all the questions that could still be asked of them, have now registered back-to-back wins in what was an all-important clash for both teams, given where they stand on the points table. They'll take the flight back to Delhi now, and you think Delhi have the edge. As for Sunrisers Hyderabad, they will ask themselves, how have they failed to chase 145? All those questions and more on Visit Saudi Presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout shall be posed to Shaun, Tait and Tom Moody, both of whom did think we'd see the Sunrisers get there. So what went wrong? Tom?
Very good question. I think we both underestimated the surface. It certainly looked like it just held in the surface a little bit slower than what we first thought. But I think that may have increased a little bit in the evening than it did certainly in the first innings. That firstly, because originally we thought, well, I made the point, I thought they were 30 runs short. And it was only really on the back of just the way that David Warner started his innings, and then Mitch Marsh came out there and drove a couple of, cracking drives, just sort of, the ball's coming on nicely. So, clearly misread that, but I don't think it was a 137 wicket. I think it was more probably a 160 wicket. And to me, looking at Sunrisers' chase there and their batting as a overall observation, one, I don't think the right people are sitting on the right seats on the bus in their batting lineup. And secondly, it looks like a batting order that's a little bit lost and disorientated with regards to how to play, and their confidence is a little bit shot. So it's nearly like they're fearing the failure of making a mistake, which is the worst little place to be in playing this format of the game. You need to be in the complete opposite space, where you're just playing with that sort of freedom of, not concerned about, the consequence of your actions.
At half-time, we had the chat of, Sunrisers bowled well, but you said that they were almost allowed to bowl well, and you couldn't sort of find it in you to whether to criticize Delhi more or praise Sunrisers more. Now that you've seen it the other way around, is it the same, where you're trying to think of, did Delhi bowl really well, and Mukesh Kumar's bowled a really good last overs, that's what changed it, or is it again more about what's this batting unit from both sides?
A mixture of both. I think the batting from both sides is, it reflects where they are on the table, I suppose. And the other thing is, maybe the wicket was a bit more difficult than what we thought. And if you bowled in the right area and you bowled on the stumps, top of the stumps, with a decent change up into the wicket, it did look a bit difficult, especially in that second innings. So I think a mixture of both there. 13 is still gettable in a last over. We've seen a hell of a lot more being chased, and that could have had a very different tone to this conversation. Because all you need to do is get the job done at this stage where both these teams are. Mukesh Kumar has gone for 15 in his penultimate over, so there would have been some pressure. They'd got 10 of the knock over as well, so that's 25. But that's a very fine last over, otherwise it's a different result. He conceded just 5. He did his job, and it's not, we spoke about death bowling a lot, especially this season, and it's just not easy to execute, and he did it well. Even if he's not bowling to the greatest batsman in the side, or he's got a decent total to defend, he did it really well. He nailed his Yorker. That's it. He didn't bowl a no ball. He didn't make too many mistakes. He
didn't try too many different things, which you're a fan of.
I'm a big fan of what he did. Absolutely.
And that's clarity, because this is a young, uncapped Indian seamer. We've seen a lot of experienced seamers do a good job at the death, but we've seen a Yash Dayal go for runs. We've seen some of the uncapped seamers find it tough. And for Mukesh Kumar, again, an impact sub, not necessarily leading this bowling attack. Fine last over.
Very, very good last over. Simple plan, good execution, and you can guarantee David Warner would have been in his ear right from ball one, said, look, what are you bowling? Yorker, yep. Yorker, every ball, I'll give you the field to support that, back yourself, trust your Yorker, it's your best ball.
And he could have gone Mitch Marsh, or he could have gone Ishant Sharma, who also bowled just the 3. So clearly this is a role now, there's at least role clarity with some of the bowling. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And he looks like he's, someone that actually does execute it quite well and likes that, that pressure. It's not the first time we've seen him run in and nail that Yorker. It is a hard ball to get right, and even as we saw in that last over, it was a very low full toss. Unless you're MS Dhoni, it's only going to be 1 or 2.
As far as the Sunrisers batting, now questions will be asked of why they never found any real fluency. Agarwal's top score, Tom, 49 of 39, but even that didn't look like an innings that was taking the game away. You had Heinrich Klaassen, who looked like he's going to win the game, and he falls short. But let's go to them later. Let's talk about everything else. Brook, Tripathi, free-flowing players, striking at 50 and 70, and Abhishek Sharma in the middle, Aiden Markram after that. What's going on there?
Well, the Brook and the Tripathi for me were the example of the comment I made around the uncertainty and worrying about the consequences of getting out. It's nearly like they were very hesitant with their stroke play, and both of them are very instinctive players. They see ball, hit ball, and that's their greatest strength. And to me, I didn't see that in them at all today. I thought Agarwal, yes, he struggled and chipped away. I thought it was a good innings. It was disappointing the way he got out, but really that was an accumulation of the pressure of what was happening at the other end. But, he got 49, striking at 125, which is a reasonably good return.
Yes.
Good to see him at the top of the order where he belongs. But the other two, in Tripathi and Brook, they just didn't have any rhythm. Suddenly then Abhishek Sharma jumps up ahead in yet another seat on the bus, as I put it, ahead of Markram to suddenly play a role in the middle to rectify, an innings that's going sidewards and fell short. Markram then also couldn't get any rhythm. And it looked like a surface that was quite hard to come in and get going. Yeah. So it wasn't easy at any stage, put it that way.
The spinners seem to have done most of the damage today. 8 overs, 3 for 43 between Aksar and Kuldeep. From what you've seen of this surface, is that a fair reflection of how hard it was? Did the spinners bowl exceedingly well? Could they have taken them down, put them under more pressure?
It ended up being that type of wicket. Washington as well in the first innings had some success, and then it went on to the second innings as well with the spinners. So look, they bowled on the stumps. I know I keep mentioning about bowling on the stumps, but they bowled in the right areas, and obviously the wicket gave them opportunities with that. But yeah, I think Moods is right. Just even Markram getting out clean bowl to the spinner, it slowed up. It wasn't coming onto the bat. But yeah, just tough to come in and start scoring straight away. Yeah. And I think that's even more a reason why you've got to get that batting order sorted out, and you've got to get players used to. I mean, that's their home ground as well. So you've got to get players used to batting in spots on that sort of wicket, I suppose. Yeah.
The Aiden Markram question will come up now for a captain who is in his first year in the IPL, who clearly doesn't seem, is it fair to say, in control of what's happening. His own batting form has come under the scanner. Is he a big part of why the Sunrisers aren't getting this right, given it's only going to get more now, the pressure for Markram as a foreign captain who's not getting runs and his team look a bit all over the place?
Yeah, I don't think he should be under the scanner. I started the tournament in good form. He looked in good shape. I think that the moving parts that are happening outside of that playing 11 is something that's being challenging for him and the whole team, to be honest with you. And there are a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of uncertainty around who's playing and where they're playing and how they're playing, and that's very evident. You can see it the way they're playing, and you can see it on the table.
What do Delhi take from this? Because I don't know if they'd be feeling like, but it must be a feel-good thing. Yeah.
Away from home as well. I think saw David Warner on the screen. I've never seen him that happy. Which
really?
Okay, maybe a few
you
times.
You don't follow him on Instagram like I do.
Yeah. The TikTok and all that stuff. But he's obviously delighted with a gritty win, which we probably didn't expect them to do. So I mean, hats off to him. I mean, a strange game again. But it's a big win for them. Yeah.
All right, let's put you in the position of welcoming the Delhi team back after those two performances. Now let's have a look at the points table before that, and it'll see that they are locked on points. Yes, the net run rate is still a challenge, but they are now technically with the same number of points as the Knight Riders, and just 2 adrift of the Mumbai Indians, and just 3 adrift of 3 wins, that is, from the rest. So they're in it.
What, they're in the mire?
Well, they're in they're mathematically in it. It's not running away. So what are you saying to Delhi at the end of this?
Look, Delhi can walk away very, very satisfied with that because it wasn't anywhere close to a complete performance. Neither was their last win. Yeah. But they're getting on the right side of the fence.
Yes.
They're winning even though they haven't quite got all their pieces in place. So there is upside, because once the overseas players start joining the party, and I'm not putting Nokia in that, because he's been quality, and neither Warner's been consistent. It's the other two overseas slots. As soon as the other top order Indian players start coming to the party, you know, that they may get on a bit of a roll here and win a few games. Where you look at Sunrisers and think, well, you know, when are the pieces going to settle?
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
Yeah. For a team that lost 5 out of 5, is it fair to say now that you have greater optimism for Delhi in this tournament than for the Sunrisers?
Probably 50-50. I think it's a hard one. I think you have to say Delhi now because they're on the back of 2 wins. And that's again, not that, I'm not saying this is a fortress, but that's a bad loss at home.
Yeah.
Sunrise. I think that's, and what Moods is talking about with the batting order and the wrong people in the wrong seats in the bus, they got to sort that out. That's a bit of an issue. Whereas Delhi can maybe move forward from this now if they get another win, I think against Sunrisers again, isn't it?
Yes. So
it's
a perfect fixture also, isn't it?
It's a chance for Sunrisers actually to pull away. If they were to win this and then the next one, all of a sudden they're closer to the pack. Whereas Delhi, okay, a game short, but it was a bad miss, I think, for Sunrisers.
Yeah, you almost think this is a great set of fixtures for Delhi. They probably go into the game at home now as favourites, and suddenly they're 6 out of 8. Yeah, 6 points out of 8.
Absolutely. They've sort of resurrected something that was looking pretty desperate. So it's going to be intriguing in that next fixture.
Yeah.
It's going to be intriguing on many levels to what the teams look like, particularly Sunrisers, and how that stacks up. Are they going to settle with you know, some sort of formula that they feel is the right formula to not only win the next game, but, you know, get them competitive and play finals? Because you look on paper, that side, you know, is a finals playing side. I'm not saying it's a championship side. I'm saying it's a side
It's a good side, yeah.
you know, is a finals playing side.
Very well. Now, as we quickly look back at this game, for some of you who like to just recap it fast, I'm going to do a quick fire review with Tom Moody and Shaun Tait. So, one-line answers, right? Keep it short, as you should. Reviewing this game, Shaun, why did batting look so hard today?
Form.
Okay. Tom?
Yeah, slow, inconsistent pace.
All right. Just for you, Teddy, Delhi's biggest problem with the bat is?
Prithvi?
Yeah. Well, Tom?
Yeah. 2 overseas batters not firing.
All right, fair enough. Tom, this one's for you. Why did Sunrisers open with Mayank today and not Abhishek, and should Brook continue to open?
No, Brook should not continue to open. He's had 6 innings where he's only averaging 10 at a strike rate of run a ball. He's had 1 unbelievable innings, but he's a middle order player and always has been.
All right, and finally, standout performer of the game, Teddy, Bhuvi, Washi, Akshar Patel, Mukesh Kumar.
Ooh, that last over I liked, but I have to say, Bhuvi.
Yeah.
Bhuvi's, yeah.
Well, Akshar for you?
Yeah, I'm going Akshar. We both bat and ball.
All right, that's a wrap. Thank you very much, Shaun Tait, Tom Moody. Off we go, and we look forward to your company tomorrow for Gujarat against Mumbai. Head over to the app, where you might hear something from the Sunrisers camp as to what's going on. They would be regretting and ruining this opportunity. As Shaun Tait points out, it's a bad miss at home against a team that's significantly been the worst of the tournament so far, but it's different days now for Delhi Capitals. They picked up 2. They go in as favourites. We'll see you tomorrow for Visit Saudi Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Time Out. Good night.